Good afternoon and welcome to the December Ordinary Council meeting. Before we commence today's meeting, it is important to acknowledge the distressing events that have occurred on home soil in recent days. Our hearts go out to the families who have lost loved ones, and we acknowledge the courage and selflessness of the first responders and community members who acted in the face of unimaginable circumstances. Item 1, acknowledgement. We, Greater Shepparton City Council, acknowledge the Yorta Yorta peoples of the land which now comprises Greater Shepparton. We pay our respect to their tribal elders, we celebrate their continuing culture, and we acknowledge the memory of their ancestors. Item 2, privacy notice. This public meeting is being streamed live via our Facebook page and made available for public access on our website, along with the official minutes of this meeting. All care is taken to maintain your privacy. However, as a visitor in the public gallery, it is assumed that your consent is given in the event that your image is broadcast to the public. It is also assumed that your consent is given to the use and disclosure of any information that you share at the meeting, including personal or sensitive information, to any person who accesses those recordings or minutes. Item 3, governance principles. Council considers that the recommendations contained in this agenda gives effect to the overarching governance principles stated in section 9.2 of the Local Government Act 2020. These principles are as followed. Councillors listed 1 to 9 on page 5 of the agenda. Page 6, item 4, apologies. Do we have any apologies?
Paul Wiggum.
Oh, I need you to just sort of move it a little bit more sort of formally, if that's okay.
Yes, Sally, I'm happy to move that we accept the apology for Councillor Paul Wiggum.
Thank you. Can I have someone second that? Thank you, Councillor Schubert. All in favour? Carried. Item 5, declarations of conflict of interest. Do we have any conflicts this afternoon? No, very good. Item 6, confirmation of the minutes of the previous meeting. Are any of the minutes opposed? No. Can I get a councillor to move that, please?
I'll move that, Mayor Saley. Recommend that the minutes of the 25 November 2025 council meeting as circulated be confirmed.
Thank you, Councillor Eddy. Can I have a councillor second that motion, please? Schubert.
No worries, Mayor Saley.
Thank you. Councillors, all in favour? Motion carried, unopposed. Item 7, public question time, nil received. Item 8, deputations and petitions, nil received. Page 7, item 9.1, November 2025 monthly financial report. There is a recommendation. Can I have a councillor put that forward as a motion, please?
Happy to move, Ms. Sally, that the council note the November 2025 monthly financial report as attached.
Councillor Akers. Can I have a councillor second that motion, please?
Second that, Mayor Saley.
Councillor Eddy. Councillor Akers, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Mayor Sally. There's not a great deal of change to the end of October report. An operating surplus of 61.7 million, which is slightly ahead still of the Q1 forecast, and that's mainly due in differences in materials and services related to revising processing and accruals of IT subscriptions. We're currently projecting a full year operating surplus of $2.5 million, and that's slightly less than the adopted budget, and that's as a result of some changes around deciding to upgrade and rehabilitate Kidstown, some funding expenditure received in the previous financial year. Capital Works is 21.42 million delivered thus far, projecting 69.36 still, and I mean, I think that's pretty close. That's 2.94 million more again than was originally budgeted, but that's a result of some carryovers. Additionally, there's some rises in costs as a result from the Cosgrove 3 adjustment, the Yarnagurdy shared path, which we adopted at the last month, that was cost a little bit more than we'd anticipated, and a couple of other contracts as adopted in October, but otherwise close enough to budget to be comfortable.
Very good. Thank you, Councillor Akers. Councillor Eddy, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Mayor Saley.
Very good. Any councillors like to speak against the motion? Speak for the motion? Favour? Motion opposed. Page 10, item 9.2, contracts awarded under delegation November 2025. There is a recommendation. Can I have a councillor put that forward as a motion, please?
I'll move that, Mayor Saley. Move that the council, 1, note the contracts awarded under delegation pursuant to a formal procurement process for the reporting period, and 2, note the requests for tender advertised but not yet awarded.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor, second that motion, please.
Happy to.
Thank you, Councillor Akers. Councillor Eddy, would you like to move, speak to the motion?
Just a brief overview of a couple of the contracts. We've got the design and construction of the Conguption Recreation Reserve and change room. We've got a HVAC system renewal at Greater Shepparton City Council Doyles Road Complex, the River Connect Route 2 shared path, and construction of the Silkwater Plains shared path at Ross Street to Tura. So things moving along nicely.
Very good, thank you, Councillor Eddy. Councillor Akers, would you like to speak to the motion?
Oh, just quickly, yes. I mean, Councillor Eddy has ticked them all off, but certainly good to see the Conguption change rooms awarded. And let's see if we can get it done by the footy season. There's a challenge to them.
Good. Thank you. Any other councillors like to speak against the motion? Speak for the motion? Councillors will go to the vote. All those in favour? Carry on opposed. Page 13, item 9.3, appointment of board director, Shepparton Art Museum Limited. There is a recommendation. Can I have the council put that forward as a motion, please?
I'll move that motion. Thank you, Mayor Saley.
Thank you, Councillor Schubert.
Recommendations that the council approve the appointment of Councillor Anthony Brophy as the council representative on the board of Shepparton Art Museum Limited for a 3-year term, effective from the 16th of December 25.
Thank you so much, Councillor Schubert. Can I have the councillor second that motion, please?
Second that, Mayor Saley.
Councillor Eddy. Councillor Schubert, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, just very briefly. Council's Chief Executive Officer, Fiona Legasic, and Director of Corporate Services, Chris Teitzel, are the current council-appointed representatives. In accordance with the Shepparton Art Museum Limited Constitution, company directors may be appointed for a maximum of 3 terms or 9 years. Council's Director of Corporate Services, Chris Teitzel, was appointed as a company director of SAM Limited in 2016 and is approaching the conclusion of his final term. Accordingly, council seeks to appoint a representative to fulfill this position, and that representative, Councillor Anthony Brophy.
Thank you, Councillor Schubert. Councillor Eddy, would you like to speak to the motion?
Just quickly, just to say that I think Councillor Brophy will be a fantastic addition to this board, and yeah, we should see some good things from over the next 3 years.
Thank
Thank you, Councillor Eddy. Any councillors like to speak against the motion? Councillors like to speak for the motion? Councillor Brophy.
Thank you, and thank you for the recommendation that's been put forward as asking regarding a directorship on the Shepparton Art Museum Limited. The directorship on this particular board is not necessarily for an art-loving appointment position. It is more based on skills that the board require and a range of appropriately skilled personnel that fulfil those roles that are currently on there as well. It's important to have a councillor representative on there. We've had council representatives on there before, but as a councillor we haven't had a direct say in regards to that particular board before. So this is an inaugural an appointment. There has been a carefully strategised changing of governance at SAM in regards to the artistic director and also the director of business. And we are starting to see some changes that are working really effectively in that space. Certainly watch this space as well for announcements for next year, so they're eagerly awaited. This is a councillor role with a clear focus of representation as a councillor for council and certainly for the public here, making sure that everything is above board. And I'm very clear in my mind of what that role looks like, and looking forward to this particular appointment.
Thank you, Councillor Brophy. Are there any other councillors that would like to speak to the motion? No, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? Motion carried, unopposed. Page 15, item 9.4, S6A, Instrument of Delegation to Members of Council Staff, Planning and Environment Act 1987. There is a recommendation. Can I have a councillor put that forward as a motion, please? Thanks.
Yeah, I will move the recommendation as it is printed on page 15 of the agenda.
Thank you. Can I have a councillor second that motion, please? Thank you, Councillor Akers. Councillor Spinks, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yep, this is, I think, maybe the 83rd version of this I've moved this year. No, I'm joking. We do have these come up every 6 months for review. This is the Planning and Environment Act version of the instrument of delegation, and it has been prompted to this council meeting because of minor changes provided by our legal advice. So happy to support it today.
Thank you, councillor Spinks. Councillor Akers, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, I think councillor Spinks has summed it up pretty well. This is a...
Thank you. Any councillors like to speak against the motion? Any councillors like to speak for the motion? Go to the vote. All those in favour? Motion carried, one opposed. Page 18, item 10.1, Asia Fruit Logistica 2025-2026. There is a recommendation. Can I have the council put that forward as a motion, please? Councillor Summer.
Thank you, Mayor Sali. I'll move that the Council, 1, note the outcomes from Greater Shepparton City Council's attendance at Asia Fruit Logistica Hong Kong 2025. 2, note that Council will host a trade stand at Asia Fruit Logistica and support activation opportunities as deemed appropriate in 2026 in partnership with Fruit Growers Victoria. 3, approve the Mayor to be included in the delegation for 2026.
Councillor Summer, can I have a councillor second that motion, please?
Yep, I'll second that, Mayor Sali.
Councillor Truffle. Councillor Summer, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, thank you. It's always a topical issue in the community, but if you drill down into the outcomes, I think most people would be absolutely supportive of the very nominal cost to council for some really great outputs. Greater Shepparton's agricultural output exceeds $977 million, and fruit production represents almost 50% of that total. So this means that this sector is critical to our region, and it has never been a better time to participate with American tariffs and a new Apple trade agreement with China coming up in 2026. So I'm really excited to see what comes out of this, and hopefully that will boost our local economy.
Councillor Summer. Councillor Truffle, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, as we know, water, horticulture and dairy pretty much underpin this area. So it's really good to see that the City Council take an active role in advocating in this spot on the world stage. So,
thank you, Councillor Truffle. Any councillors like to speak against the motion? Any councillors like to speak for the motion? All those in favour? Motion carried on the program. Councillors, page 24, item 11.1, Australian Botanic Gardens Shepparton Advisory Committee. There is a recommendation. Can I have a councillor put that forward as a motion, please? Councillor Brophy.
Thank you, Mayor Sali. I'd like to put forward the following recommendation: that the Council, 1, approve to dissolve the Australian Botanic Gardens at Shepparton Advisory Committee. 2, acknowledge and thank the outgoing and past advisory committee members. And 3, note the formation of an Australian Botanic Gardens Shepparton user group following the dissolving of the advisory committee.
Thank you, Councillor Brophy. Can I have a councillor second that motion, please?
I'll second that, Mayor Sali.
Councillor Brophy, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Sali. It's important that the public understand why we're dissolving this particular group and moving on to another group as well. The Australian Botanical Gardens Shepparton Advisory Committee has operated for many years as a strategic advisory body to Council, with its sole purpose being to provide informed advice on the ongoing development, management and performance of the Australian Botanical Gardens Shepparton. The committee has played a significant role in guiding operational priorities, supporting community engagement and contributing to the long-term vision of the gardens. The committee has also provided with specialised horticultural advice and an avenue for users to raise matters relating to the gardens and the operations there. Over the past year, the advisory committee has experienced a steady decline in both the attendance and overall member engagement. This downward trend has become increasingly evident, with meeting participation consistently falling below what's expected of standards of commitment. And it says in decorum, but decorum is certainly at the foremost. I think the members that have been on there have been exemplary. Despite efforts to maintain the momentum and encourage involvement, several members have formally stepped down from their roles, and other members have completed their term on that particular advisory committee. Can I please thank the current members that are on there for their steadfast contribution throughout the year, Sue Buick and Wendy Demore. As the year commenced at the beginning this year, two very passionate members, one being the late Mary Jane Taylor, passed away at the end of last year, and it was sadly missed. And Jenny Houlihan, who is one of the key drivers of the Australian Botanical Gardens, resigned at the very beginning of the year as well. So that made it very difficult for having two prominent people no longer part of that. And it sounds all doom and gloom, but this change is being more practical, and it's a recalibration of where we're going to go now. The recommendation is a transition from the formal advisory committee to a user group model, and is intended to preserve a clear and accessible channel for the community members to engage with council on matters relating to the Botanical Gardens. This new structure will support ongoing communication and feedback in a more flexible and informal setting without the need of a structured meetings or formal committee processes. Council officers have assured me, and certainly the committee members of the advisory, that they will continue to collaborate with everyone on the user groups on the development of the gardens. Engagement will include consultation on projects that have been identified through the council's 10-year capital plan, potential funding opportunities, and obviously the master plan priorities. The user groups will be able to input through formal feedbacks and informal channels as well. On-site discussions, emails, there's a dedicated direct phone number to ring through as well, and there'll be a newsletter to them as well. Their input is absolutely valuable and paramount success, and I hope that everyone with the user group gets on board with this new structure, and certainly thank all those that have been on the advisory committee since its beginning, and thank them greatly for their contribution to what we have as a wonderful asset.
Thank you, Councillor Brophy. Councillor Eddy, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Mayor Sally.
Councillors like to speak against the motion? Any councillors like to speak for the motion? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? Motion carried and approved. Councillors, page 29, item 11.2, contract number 2418, provision of facilities maintenance services. That does go over page 29 and 30 for whoever is going to move that motion. Can I have a mover, please?
I'll move it. Yes, the recommendation is that the council award contract 2418, provision of facilities maintenance, panel of suppliers to the following contractors under the service categories below: electrical, plumbing, and registered commercial buildings. I won't read out all the names, but they are listed on page 29 of 40 and page 30 of 40.
Thank you so much. Councillor Schubert, can I have a councillor second that motion, please? Councillor Brophy. Councillor Schubert, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes, just briefly, thank you, Mayor Sally. To ensure best value and regulatory compliance, council officers elected to award separate contracts for services associated with essential safety measures. As a result, the remaining trades, which are electrical, plumbing and registered builders, were consolidated into this particular contract, contract number 2418. This is a panel contract requiring tenderers to submit hourly rates and material markup percentages within the tender schedules. A total of 22 conforming tenders were received, which is a wonderful outcome, and I'm very pleased to see so many local organisations being part of the tender. It's great to see. Thank you.
Councillor Schubert. Councillor Brophy, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thank you, Mayor Sally. Very briefly, seeing the panels and the names that are listed on there, to me it stands out as local, local and local. It means that work is local. It means that the income coming to the families for this region is local. It means that those families will shop locally, the kids will go to local schools, and the community organisations and the sporting clubs will benefit because it's coming through that way. Looking through the list of the ones that I do know there, they're skilled, they're economical, they're hands-on, so if you do need them to fulfil the services required, they're local, so they can do it.
Councillor Brophy, any councillor like to speak against the motion? Councillor like to speak for the motion? Vote. All those in favour? Motion carried and approved. Page 35, item 11.3, asset management policy. Recommendation. Can I have a councillor put that forward as a motion, please? Councillor Spinks.
I'll move that the council adopt the asset management policy as attached.
Councillor second that motion. Councillor Akers. Councillor Spinks, would you like to speak to the motion?
So briefly, this is only coming to us again because there has been a minor change in the position titles of and basically operational role, so it's simply coming through the physical. So happy to support today.
Great, thank you. Councillor Akers?
Thanks, Mayor. So no, as councillor Spix has highlighted, this is just a bit of an adjustment to some minor words in the policy.
Very good, thank you, councillor Akers. Any councillor like to speak against the motion? Any councillors like to speak for the motion? Good, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? Motion carried, unopposed. Page 37, item 12, documents for signing and sealing, nil received. Who would have thought this is our last council meeting for the year, guys? We're getting through it pretty quick. Good work. Keep it going, bro. Be good on this one. Item 13.1, council activities, November 2025. That is a warning wet. Councillors, this is a recommendation. Can I have someone put that forward as a motion, please? I'm being serious as well. This is between you and the Christmas break, bro, so.
Recommendation, Sally.
Very good.
The recommendation that the council receive and note the summary of the councillors' community interactions and informal meetings of councillors.
Very good. Thank you, councillor Brophy. Can I have a councillor second that motion, please?
I'll second that, Mayor Sally.
Councillor Eddy. Councillor Brophy, would you like to speak to the motion?
Oh, thank you, Mayor Sally. I'll just list through every one of them. No. Can I just mention a couple very briefly? Fantastic in the last month, the Shepparton Airport Open Day, the Women's Economic Forum, which had a lot of international guests as well here in Shepparton. Congratulations, River Connect, on 20-year celebration. And Spring Car Nats, their annual one, they ran a couple of weeks ago, fantastic. And the Grounded Festival, well done to JL and HD Productions. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, councillor Brophy. Councillor Eddy, would you like to speak to the motion?
I'll just touch on a couple, Mayor Sally. When the Dust Settles, fantastic independent documentary into men's mental health, Sparkle in Maribna, and of course the Spring Car Nationals. We have a lot of fantastic events in this area, so support.
Very good, thank you. Any councillors like to speak against the motion? For the motion? No, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? Motion carried, unopposed. Item 14, notice of motion, amendment or rescission or received. Item 15, urgent business not included on the agenda. Has any urgent business arisen? No. Before we do close, on behalf of fellow councillors, I want to extend our appreciation to Fiona and our executive and our governance support team and Pete and the Riverlinks team who support us yearly throughout the meeting. Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. But most importantly to our community who provide great support and guidance and plenty of advice throughout the year. Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
Officially close the meeting at 3:22 p.m.